Hello, Jays, and welcome to the latest Benidorm news update and Spanish news update. Here, as every Monday and Friday, we'll let you know the latest news, everything you should know from Benidorm, the upcoming events, what's happening in Spain, both good and bad news. And we top it all up with the weather forecast for the upcoming week. So stay tuned up until the end of today's video. First of all, we'll be talking about the situation update, how busy it actually is right now, almost heading mid-November. What are the main celebrations and what are the main events that will be happening right now in Benidorm? Because we're hitting the spot where we have one of the most important celebrations in Benidorm town. And the next two news will be also about the fancy dress event, which is epic celebration in Benidorm town for the British community, and not only British community. What's going to be happening this year, because there are two huge differences comparing with all the previous years. And the last news will be about a very sad situation, about the anger that grows nonstop amongst Spanish and residents here in Spain due to how all the situation with Valencia has been handled. We will let you know the latest update, what's happening right now, what is the situation as for the day of today, and what's been going on. And at the end, it's weather forecast time, so stay tuned. First of all, let's talk about the situation in tourism. It is almost heading towards mid of November. It's basically 15 days left up until December and all the Christmas fairs and celebrations, gatherings, and it is still very busy. We do see slightly less people on work days from Monday to Thursday, but Thursday to Sunday, it is really busy in Benidorm and surrounding region. We see a lot of people having a walk, enjoying different viewpoints, lighthouses, natural parks, bars, restaurants, cafeterias, shopping around the cities, or just walking around and exploring the old town or cozy, typical old streets. There's a lot of movement, even though it is almost mid-November here in our region. And I do feel like all this area, Mediterranean side, is quite busy still. And autumn months, winter months, and spring months are the most popular now, which is when actually a lot of people are shifting to these months because summer is too warm, summer has heat waves, summer is too expensive already. And many people just feel it's not worth spending their hardly earned money when, if you travel slightly outside of these months, the same amount of money will give you more services and will give you more of anything for your holidays. Basically, you could spend this money on whatever you want: souvenirs, extra pampering, better hotel or maybe better room conditions, some extras, excursions, nice food, restaurants, souvenirs, whatever it is. But you can spend this money instead of spending it just on the hotel or on flights, because it's the peak season. So many people are switching to right now. The fiestas that we have these days, we've finished, right now we're finishing the fiestas of Alfaz del Pi and Albir of this municipal area right outside Benidorm. And Benidorm celebrations start from today in the evening. Technically, they do start from tomorrow, but Saturday. But today is the grand opening. So don't miss it if you're here in Benidorm town. We'll try our best and publish it before these hours as it is. We have two main celebrations today. One is the turning on of all the lights inside of Benidorm town for celebrations. When the sun goes down, you can see beautiful, colorful lights on a lot of main streets in the old town and city center. And it's going to be at 6 p.m. But officially today at 6 p.m. is when the festive lights will be turned on in the whole entire town. Plus, at 7 p.m., 1 hour later, here celebrations are not punctual at all. So if you have some specific time, especially for parades, it doesn't mean it's going to start at this time. It should, but it doesn't mean it's going to be like this. So don't get stressed out if it's been 20 minutes or half an hour and didn't start just yet. Lately, they've been better with it, but still there might be some delays. At 7 p.m. on the Plaza de Toros, the old Plaza de Toros, which is not working any longer for a long time. This is where we'll have the fair, the opening of the fair. And today, the first day, there are special prices for children. And in general, there's discounts as a grand opening. Later on the days, weekend and next week, there's going to be already regular prices without any kind of discount. So make sure you use as much of it to your advantage as you can, because it is really cheap today and it's not going to be the next upcoming days. All this celebration will be up until 13th of November, Wednesday. And on this day in the evening at 6 p.m., there's going to be a giant, festive, and colorful parade down the main streets of Benidorm, including the Avenue of Rusafa, which is where it always is. This is where the cow shop, the Alehop, is located by the traditional city center. And it will finish up at the smaller streets nearby. Colorful parade with candy, probably very nice ending to the festivities of Benidorm. And the next day, immediately on the 14th, we will start the fancy dress party, which is the second news for today. Fancy dress is an incredible celebration that started very, very small, as you all might know, just in a couple of locations and a couple of bars. But every single year and after a couple of decades, it grew so much that now dozens of thousands of people participate in a fancy dress. Obviously, there is a parade, and then there's just people walking down the streets with their interesting, fancy, strange, very bold and costumes that not everyone would be able to put on them and just go out to the street, and people do. People are having a lot of fun with it. It's mostly in the British area of Rincon de Loige. You can see it on Rincon de Loige main avenues, the Girona Street, next to all the hotels that do cater for international tourists, and mostly on the British street around it, the Strip, the Lepanto Street, the Ibiza Street as well. Some people on the Levante Beach in specific targeted points of it too. And usually it's very fun. Usually it's very interesting and very fun to see which kind of costumes people come up with every single year. And this year, there's going to be a lot of changes. Two facts, two main changes to take into consideration. First one will be it's going to be only half of the parade than it usually is. It's still expected to gather a lot of people, but they're trying their best not to make it giant. And also, a lot of people were traveling by buses from different parts of Spain towards Benidorm for a fancy dress party. Now, with everything that is going on in Valencia and in other regions, a couple of other regions were affected: South Spain and Malaga, Andalusia, and then north in Catalonia as well, next to Barcelona, Tarragona, like all that areas. So, in order to stop people from coming here and going down the roads where you should not be passing or where it's forbidden to pass, because these roads are impossible to cross right now. They're either destroyed or unsafe. Uh, as a result, it's going to be only just half of the parade, and out of solidarity too, not to throw here a giant party when people are suffering just 100 kilometers from here, right? So apart from that, there's going to be donations, and there's going to be special boxes, jars, how you want to call them, in many locations of the bars, hotels, and establishments that do work and do celebrate and do organize the fancy dress party. For example, I have here a couple of them. I'm going to put you a whole list here on the screen, but just so that you know, some of them will be Western Saloon, Marina Resort, which is a La Marina Hotel, basically, the Ambassador Playa 1 and 2. There's going to be Presidente Hotel, etc. I know the Avenue Philippines 10 as well will be there. Like many establishments around that area will be participating. And what we do know so far is that all this is going to be donated towards those who need it the most and who suffered from the Dana storm. And speaking about the Dana storm, someone asked us who gives the names to these storms. I'm not sure, probably meteorologists, someone in the government or in the meteorology stations. They just give the names. They just randomly assign the names to these storms. Some of them are better, some of them are worse, but these are just the names. This is not the most important thing. The most important thing is that there's a lot of people affected still. The latest news is that there are still works being held to clean the garages, the areas that are next to the beach by the rivers, because that is where, sadly, a lot of the bodies are found now. All the bodies are found with geo localizers, where they actually scan the soil to see if there's someone trapped in there. And many people were found already, but many people are still missing. So it's not a short time work to do. It will take a lot of time and effort and strength to be able to find all those that are disappeared, and maybe they will even not be able to find every single person, sadly. Not a good situation. Businesses are out of order. Some businesses decided to reopen, those who had something to reopen, because others are destroyed completely. There's still many volunteers from our region, us, who go there, who help whenever we can, outside of work, outside of school hours, weekend, whenever it is humanly possible. Those who are not working or who have flexible schedules obviously are spending more time there, but everyone tries to help. We've seen even many artists, many famous people all over the world who are heading there to give their part of the help that they can offer. People who are donating giant amounts of food, of supplies, of anything, for cleaning products, of money, to be able to help these people to reestablish their lives as soon as possible. There's government helps as well, but these government helps are tricky, to be honest, because they have a lot of like small letters in the text. It is help, but then there's like a lot of but you need to do this and this and that, but there's only this time to do it, but there's only that. So there's many buts, and it's not good. But there are government help, so I really hope it will reach us all, the people that are in need. Many people are angry. Many people are extremely angry, which is why a lot of international media immediately posted that people were throwing mud and different types of objects towards the king and the queen of Spain, plus towards all the main politics of the government who went there with the kings of Spain. That being said, obviously government has a lot to do with it. People are angry for a reason, and we've seen a video that people just that live in that area, they want to go and help, posted recently. We've seen solidarity coming from all over the place. We've seen people from South Spain, from North Spain, from France arriving to the area when no one asked them to, arriving and trying to help. We've seen dozens of tractors just going down the motorway to help people to clean up the area so that they would be able to go to work, so they would be able to go anywhere and pick up the food and groceries that they need, buy supplies, anything. But we've seen that in some places, local police just says, really, really in a hard way, we don't need your help. You're not needed here. Get out of the way, or we will put you a fine or we will arrest you. To those who are coming to help, to the volunteers, we've seen some strange things here in the area, to be honest with you. And also, we've seen many volunteers come. There were some municipal areas and some villages that did not receive any help at all for the first like 4 or 5 days. They were left absolutely alone. They had to go to the television to let people know that they need help, and volunteers started to arrive. Even French police came earlier to some of these points than the Spanish government, and help from the official authorities from Spain. They've seen cars just passing by to other directions, but no one stopped. No one asked if they are all right. Um, all this alert system as well. In Spain, we have a national alert system, which is basically a message that in case of something happens, there's a message that arrives to your mobile phone. Like on the screen, it pops up immediately. What happened is that some main politics, which should have taken this decision to alert people through this national emergency system, did not even know it existed. And openly, they've said it in the press conference, they've agreed that they did not know it existed. There were some politics who canceled the emergency Like there's different types of groups for civil protection and like police and national police, special forces, etc. So there are specific groups that are in charge of emergencies, like emergency evacuations, anything that is needed, like emergency procedure of the state of alarm, etc. There are special organizations who are dealing with this. So in our region, once the politicians changed, once the government in our region changed, this was the first group, the first team that was eliminated, that was just deleted from our region. And then this happened. So obviously people are angry because people feel like if it would all have been handled in a better way, if it would all have been handled faster and how it should be with the alarm in advance, people would not people wouldn't lose their lives as much as they did. There wouldn't be so many people affected, probably. Maybe the businesses, yes, but people would have time to prepare. I don't know, put something to block the doors of anything. People would have time to think on what to do. People would bring their valuable belongings. I don't know, maybe some machines at work. People would go home and not stay in the garages or stay outside on the streets. People would have time. All this came too late, and the government came too late to save all the people. I get that there is not enough, maybe, workers to help every single area that was affected. I get it. But simplifying it somehow, allowing people to arrive, not blocking the roads, we all feel that this could have been done in a way more efficient way, which is why people are definitely angry, because a lot of these things could have been avoided and they were not, due to lack of provision and how things have been administrated and how the law works and how slow everything happened from the government side. The reaction that the government had was really, really slow. That is why people are angry, and they have all the right to be honest, because there are people who lost absolutely everything and even their loved ones. The situation is actually really, really tragic in our region, and it would probably not recover even in a year from now. Minimum a year, probably even more. Some things will never be recovered. And now let's talk about the weather forecast. What is happening in our country? Will it be raining more, or if it's going to be like it is today? Actually, during daytime, early morning, midday, it was all right. We were able to go like with a blouse like this, but now it's getting so chilly that we need to put like something to cover us up. And in the evening, probably for the celebrations, we might even need to put like a autumn coat or something on top, because it is definitely not warm any longer, which is kind of surprising. As for the weather forecast, we can see that all this upcoming week, it's going to be sunny, more or less. Sun with some clouds every now and then, but it's not a rainstorm, it's not an electric storm, it's not like a stormy bad weather. It's just sunshine with a tiny bit of clouds. That's what it's going to be, at least for the next upcoming week. We should not have any kind of rain for this period of time. So you're lucky if you're coming on holidays right now, even double lucky, because you will get to see Benidorm Fiesta celebration. Apart from having some nice weather to stay on the beach or to have a lovely walk down Benidorm town and beyond it to explore everything the area has to offer. Temperature wise, it was around 20 degrees midday today, but now when it's already early afternoon, it feels like it's 19, 18 degrees outside, because it is quite chilly like this, especially when the wind blows, even if the tiniest bit. You do feel like it's not to where it's not closer to summer, but it's like getting closer towards the winter time already. The next few days, temperatures will be more or less the same, 18, 19 degrees, um, maybe up until 20 at some certain points of day. The real feel might be slightly higher, but these are the average temperatures between 18 and 21 degrees. That's what you might expect on average the upcoming week here in the region. Slightly south or in Canarian Islands, it might be a little bit more. Canarian Islands, yes, obviously, because there's peak season now beginning there. But here in Spain, up until 22, maximum 23, that's all we will get on the peninsula up until the next summer will appear. And the water temperature is of around 20 degrees, 20 and a half, which is chilly for us and for many tourists already. You can barely see anyone getting into the water nowadays. Thank you for accompanying us on today's latest Spanish news update and Benidorm news update. We wish you a lovely day, great holidays if you are on once. Stay safe, and we will see you in a new video here on the channel. We will start posting every single day of this week everything that's going on and what you might be willing to see maybe next year for your holidays here in Benidorm, and what the authentic Benidorm celebrations are looking like. So stay tuned and make sure to subscribe to our channel. Bye, Dees.